Peace, family. Welcome to Black Star TV 2.0. It's your boy Black Star, and I got a nice little episode for y'all today. I like to thank all my subscribers. I appreciate all the love. We almost at 1,500 subscribers. I appreciate that. If you're not subscribed, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash the like button on this video and drop some comments in the comment section. I definitely want to hear what the family has to say about this issue right here. So I'm going to speak on robotic police dogs and the new robotic lawyer that they're going to have somebody be represented with in court next month. CBS came out with an article on it, and I wanted to read a little bit of it, not the whole thing, but just read little bits of it. But again, this sparked my interest because again, I'm definitely somebody who is not a fan of the judicial system in the United States. I feel like we have the worst judicial system on the planet. Having robotic lawyers, I just feel like a person who's been to prison a couple of times and been to the county jail a lot of times. First of all, we already have human lawyers that don't really speak on your behalf. Now we have to hope that, this robot is programmed to the point where it's going to argue on your behalf. And I wouldn't really trust it. I really wouldn't want a robotic lawyer. I mean, well, I guess I would have to see exactly how it happens. But let me read this article because the first part of the article is the part that I have the most feelings for. Hold on, let me share my screen real quick. So again, first AI-powered lawyer robot will represent defendant in court next month. A robot lawyer powered by artificial intelligence will be the first of its kind to help a defendant fight a traffic ticket in court next month. And I feel like it's going to go from traffic ticket to criminal court, like fast. And again, all right, so Joshua Browder, CEO, Do Not Pay, said the company's AI creation runs on smartphone, listens to court arguments, and formulates a response for the defendant. The AI lawyer tells the defendant what to say in real time through headphones. Now, that's going to be an issue because I've been known when you're in court, you aren't really allowed to speak because your lawyer's there. They're going to tell you, because I try to speak up for myself a lot of times, and the first thing they tell you is be quiet. Let your lawyer speak for you because that's why you have them, right? If you want to speak on your own behalf, they're going to tell you need to represent yourself. So again, now we got the lawyers, right, who doing oral arguments and all of this. And I know from a person that was on an appeal, I know that whatever's not said in court, you can't argue as a grounds for appeal. For instance, like say, you don't. All right. So Meek Mill has this verse that I like, right? And he says, you go to court with a court appointed and he never objects, right? Because whatever he doesn't object on that the prosecutor says, if he doesn't object on it, you can't argue that grounds and appeal later on down the line. And this is like a little strategic strategy that they have anyway. And depending on how, this AI lawyer is, what would you call that? Programmed, right? Depending on how he's programmed, he might not even really be fighting or saying all the things that's necessarily needed to be said. And again, we know when you are in jail, it's hard to get in that law library. I've been in Oregon where they don't even allow you in a law library unless you're defending yourself, which I feel like is super crazy because no lawyer knows all the law. And that's what another issue I'm kind of having with this. Is this going to know all the law? Is the robot going to know all the law? Is it going to be grounds for appeal based on, lack of defensive counsel or whatever? You get what I'm saying? So here we go. On February 22nd at 1:30, history will be made for the first time ever. A robotic lawyer will represent someone in U.S. court. Do not pay. AI will whisper in someone's ear exactly what to say. We will release the results and share more after it happens. Wish us luck. Now, wish y'all luck. How about you wish the client luck? Do you see what I'm saying? This is going to be the issue, like, because I just feel like that they're going to turn this into criminal court, and black people are going to be getting the shit into the stick. Now, watch this, because they have these cars that drive themselves, right? And the statistics is showing that the cars are hitting black people more than they're hitting anybody else. Now, is that a coincidence, or are these cars being programmed to, knock black people over? You get what I'm saying? So who knows, right? Hold on, right here. Lawyers would not support this. Of course they wouldn't, because they would be getting their jobs taken. The ultimate goal, according to Browder, is to democratize legal representation by making it free for those who can't afford it. In some cases, eliminating, excuse me, family. In some cases, eliminating the need for pricey attorneys. But given the technology is illegal in many courtrooms, he does not expect to be able to commercialize the product anytime soon. This courtroom stuff is more advocacy, he said. It's more to encourage the system to change, Browder explains. Now, I don't like, of course, at some point you're going to have the first person, but, I don't like, practicing on somebody's life. Like that's scary to me, even though it's like a little ticket, but who cares, right? I don't want to pay no tickets either. And I don't want anybody coming in. I don't want to be the first person that's used with the robotic John, and the robot get me, $1 million fine. All of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm bankrupt because the robot didn't say all the stuff he was supposed to say. But yeah. I don't know how this works as far as it being illegal in many courtrooms. But again, just the simple fact that y'all even starting this the same way y'all started the robotic dogs. Again, we know in San Francisco, let me share that screen too. San Francisco, we have, here we go. San Francisco will allow police dogs to deploy robots that kill in extreme circumstances. And we know that our brother from Dallas, shout out to him, who died, right? He was the first person that they used, these whole robotic dogs on. And again, family, this is a new way for them to use this judicial system and use these police dogs and these lawyers to just mess people over, right? The police dogs, when they start killing people, there's no accountability. What are you going to do? You're just going to destroy the dog, right? All you have to do is, take him apart, use those parts to make another dog. So it's like, at the end of the day, this is all going to be a mess. I just feel like it's going to be a mess, and I just feel like, it's only going to make the worst judicial system in the world even worse. So San Francisco, supervisors in San Francisco voted today to give police the ability to use potential lethal remote control robots in emergency situations, following an emotional charged debate that reflected divisions on the political liberal board over support for law enforcement. The vote was 8-3, with the majority agreeing to grant police the option, despite strong objections from civil liberties and other police oversight groups. Opponents said the authority would lead to further militarization of the police force, already too aggressive with poor and minority communities. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. This is who we're going to be target. Micah Johnson, that's our brother who was killed in Dallas by the dog, by the little robot. I believe it was the same type of robot dog. They sent them in there, and he basically exploded himself. And shout out to that brother, because he held it down for us too. Yeah, so they're going to be, targeting us again. Back to the robotic lawyer, right? He's going to be in there, not saying all the stuff, not objecting to all the things that he's supposed to be objecting to. They're going to blame it on some type of malfunction. You're still going to be sitting in court for, in you're going to be sitting on in jail on a pill for years and years to come until they realize that there was some type of mistake made with the robot. He had malfunctioned and didn't say all the things he was supposed to say. It just makes it a mess, man. It just makes it a mess. And I just feel like this is not a good look. We just need to, revamp the whole judicial system in general, right? Because you already have right now where you have lawyers who get paid, state lawyers who get paid $500 for guilty pleas, but there's no incentive to beat the case. So, this is why, around the country, there's a 92, every county in every state has at least on average a 92 to 94% conviction rate. You feel what I'm saying? So this is why, everybody, it can't be that many people that's just like, yo, you know what? I did that. There is a system in play to force people to, there's a system in play to force people to keep, pleading guilty, right? So again, right, you have the system set up in the county jail, psychological warfare that's going on inside the county jail, where you're deprived of food, you're deprived of resources, you're deprived of even basic necessities for weeks and weeks on out, like lotion, deodorant, all type of things. They have lights in the room that don't ever go off. They call it a night light, but at the end of the day, you are struggling to get sleep. The mats are paper thin. It's normally cold in there. So it's like you going through all of this. Meanwhile, you're fighting a case. It's hard to get in communication with your family because the phone calls are so expensive. So it's just a lot of things that go into it to where, they offer you, first of all, the police charge you. This is how it really starts. The police are charging you with multiple crimes, even though you only committed one. I have my own situation where they charged me with 4 possessions of a firearm. 4 possessions of a firearm, second degree. They all held 10 years apiece, right? And you never even had a firearm. So now when I'm in court, and I had a couple other charges as well, but now I'm in court, your first offer to me is a 50 with a 30. And you can offer me that because that's what I'm facing based off all those charges. And now when you know that you have a public defender behind your back and, he's not going to fight for you, you in a dilemma. You don't have, it's hard to get to resources. It's hard to get to family members. It's just, like I said, it's just a plethora of things going on in there. You really can't get out that much. Court dates are far and few beyond. Like you don't never know when you're really going to court. You don't never know what's happening. Man, I'm trying to tell you, it's such psychological warfare out in there. You have to pay for everything that you need to go to the nurse. They're putting that on your account. So now, and they charging you to come in the county jail now. They like charging, it's like a 50, 70, depending on the county, it could be like a $50 fee, a $75 fee. So now when you want to get food, right? When you want to order food, some take the whole thing, some take a little percentage and still let you because they know they're doing some BS and people can't order like that. So, but again, man, listen, it's just so much that goes into this judicial system that's why it's so corrupt. And again, once you charge a person with all those charges and they get in court and they facing 50 years, right? It's easy to get somebody to cop out to 5 years. Think about that. If I go to trial and lose, I'm facing 50, but you're going to offer me 5. Like, even if you don't have anything, like, nobody really wants to roll the dice, to spend the rest of their life in prison, even if you're 20 years old. And I was beyond 20, right? I was in my 30s at that time. No, I'm lying. I was in my 20s. I think I was 28. But still, it's like, who wants to roll the dice on 50 of them Johns, right? You feel what I'm saying? So again, let me share my screen and show y'all this whole thing in China. Let me show y'all this whole thing in China real quick. So I seen this on social media earlier, and this was with some robot stuff. Oh man, my bad.
too big.
At a top robotics company in Japan this week, 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab. And they did it by shooting what he called metal bullets. I didn't know there was any other kind. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the 3rd, but the 4th robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before. And this next sentence, this is a quote. I'm writing this down. I've been doing this for years. This is serious, Linda, but you're never going to hear about this in the news.
A lot of viewers were skeptical, while others did not rule out the possibility of this actually happening. So I found this clip from an interview she did after the fact, where she explains in detail how she got this information and who was the whistleblower that actually conveyed this news to her in the first place. In the clip I'm about to show you, she also talks about how Elon Musk knew about these kinds of experiments and how he warned the world before this incident even happened.
July, August of 2017. In the prior year, I had been communicating with a Marine who had retired from the Marines but was working special forces. And he had been communicating to me about a number of ET-related revelations, secrets that he and a team of special forces were involved with. And so he had kept in touch with me, usually through short texts, or every once in a while, he would call and say, you're tapped, I'm tapped, I'm only going to speak for, and it would be like 30 seconds or a minute, and then hang up. And I understood why, and that was what we were doing. Well, it was in August of 2017. The phone rang, I picked it up. I knew his voice. Can't stay on the line long, but I want you to know that this week, which would have been I think second week of August 2017, in Japan, 29 humans were killed in a laboratory that was producing militarized robots by the Japanese for warfare. And then he went on to explain what he had learned, because they're in these units, that something like that would happen, they would receive information. And he said that the story was the 4 militarized robots were being made to be autonomous warriors. And that they don't know why, but the 4 rebelled or acted autonomously. And as they acted autonomously, they killed 29 humans in this lab. And whoever was left on the human side began pulling, this is the way he said, they began pulling the robots apart. They got 2 of them completely disassembled. We're working on the 3rd, and then the analysis later was what happened with the 4th. The 4th was communicating with a satellite that they were teaching these militarized robots how to communicate with the satellites to get information on missions. And that the 4th robot was now extending up to the satellite and was searching for information about how to make itself stronger to take on, apparently, the remaining humans. What did they do exactly to that 4th? I don't know, but I understand they took it apart. Would they ever put them back together? So now we're up to a point in August of 2017 where I'm hearing a story that is shocking, and I would say is like a warning that hits you out of the blue, that if in August of 2017, 4 militarized robots being taught to be autonomous could do that in a lab, it made Elon Musk Only 2 months before, in June, at the Rhode Island Governors Association meeting, there were 33 governors from the United States, and Elon Musk was one of the invited speakers. And when they sat him down in a chair and they started asking him his perspective as being head of Tesla and SpaceX, he said, I think that the greatest problem that scares me the most is artificial intelligence. And he said statements like, people don't understand that the robots, they're not going to need sleep. They're not going to need sick days. They're going to be able to do everything better, faster, more efficiently, and smarter than humans. And then he went on and he said, I am convinced that artificial intelligence right now is an existential threat to this planet.
The meeting she mentioned in the clip was the National Governors Association meeting, or the NGA, where the governors of 55 states meet twice a year to discuss issues of national and state importance and to develop policy initiatives that address the most pressing issues facing the states. The meeting also provides an opportunity for governors to meet with representatives from the federal government and the private sector. In 2017, Elon Musk attended the NGA meeting and had an hour-long interview where he expressed his opinion on several subjects, including artificial intelligence.
Somebody asked me to ask you this. We talked about workforce today, but they asked me, are robots going to take our jobs, everybody's jobs in the future? Or how much do you see artificial intelligence coming into the workplace?
Well, first of all, I think on the artificial intelligence front, I have exposure to the very most cutting edge AI. And I think people should be really concerned about it. I keep sounding the alarm bell, but until people see like robots going down the street killing people, like they don't know how to react, because it seems so ethereal. I think we should be really concerned about AI, and I think we should. AI is a rare case where I think we need to be proactive in regulation instead of reactive. Because I think by the time we are reactive in AI regulation, it's too late. And normally the way regulations are set up is that a whole bunch of bad things happen. There's a public outcry. And then after many years, a regulatory agency is set up to regulate that industry. There's a bunch of opposition from companies who don't like being told what to do by regulators. And it takes forever. That in the past has been bad, but not something which represented a fundamental risk to the existence of civilization.
Man, you can tell in his face. You can tell in his face, man, that he knows some shit that he don't want to really say. And he probably can't say, you feel me? They done rocked him. But again, family, listen, this is why I don't agree with robotic police dogs and robotic lawyers. I'm telling you, it is going to be a straight downfall. And I literally just watched that full video. I didn't even watch it. I seen the video. I heard her. And then I was just like, you know what? I want to listen to what she's saying. But I didn't even know they was going to play Elon Musk. But that just goes to tell you, family, this is not a good idea. Being as though we already have the worst judicial system in the country, in the world, right? Having artificial intelligent robots, come into play, because think about it, they're really not coming into play in any other facet of society, right? You don't see them coming into play as the as the politician, right? You don't see them coming into play as anything like that. It's the judicial part, right, where we are disproportionately, the majority in the system, even though we aren't even committing the most crimes, right? So fam, listen, I just wanted to, speak on that. I wanted to, I didn't want to make this video too long either, but I just wanted to show y'all that we are truly in a different time. This is some real iRobot type shit. And, we just got to be careful and watch out. And this is why we have to get representatives in, that have our specific needs met, right? Because of course we want reparations and everything, but I'm telling you, man, that judicial system is tearing us up, right? It's really tearing us up, and it's tearing our families apart. And at some point, even just in general, man, like, outside of the whole blackosphere, because we like to concentrate on our community, right? We like to that's our our main goal, to concentrate on our community. But even just as a society, having the worst judicial system in the world, this is something that we really truly have to work out, because again, they are really truly militarizing the police and things like that. And then we're going to have, like he said, when it gets too late, that's when they're going to be like, you know what, we need to fall back. And again, knowing the United States, when things get worse, we're normally affected the most. You feel me? Our community is normally affected the most. So we want to change that, and we want to get ahead of this before it gets too late. So again, family, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Make sure you smash that like button for me, family. We're going to get up out of here, man. Make sure y'all hit me up on the podcast, on my Patreon, donate to the Cash App, donate to PayPal. I've been doing this thing that this GS Partners thing with Brother Ben X is my sponsor, and I want to get into that in a couple days and show y'all my progress of the money I've been making when I did that. So again, I want to bless the family with some of the information that I know, and the little things that are working in my favor financially. I want to put y'all on the game. So again, family, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. Again, we almost on 1,500 subscribers. I appreciate y'all. We just hit 1,000 in December, and now we at 1,500, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all have a blessed day, and y'all have a productive week for the rest of the week, man. Y'all, I'm out of here, man. Peace and